Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon or Rising, and it's a weekly reading for the week of October 21st to the 27th. Okay, Aquarius, your cards this week, we have the Don't Dim to Fit In Oracle card. We have the Devil, Death, the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. So this is a huge reading here, Aquarius. I don't mean to freak any of you out, but I don't know if I've actually seen this amount of, the sort of more ominous cards coming out in a reading. So some of you are dealing with a really heavy duty situation here. So yeah, it's going to come to an end though. We have nines and tens in this reading. It is really time to bring it to a head. It needs to pass in order for you to, get to your next cycle and to move into happier times. I'm going to kick off by reading an oracle card here, Aquarius. So don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light to fit in? Don't dim your light to accommodate someone else's smallness. We are all born to shine big and bright. The universe is expanding and you're part of the universe, so expanding is part of your nature. If someone makes you want to react or retract, notice and slowly back away. They are not for you and you are not for them. Better yet, find it within yourself to expand and shine your light anyway. Flowers don't open and close according to who is walking by. They open and show their beauty regardless. Yeah, so Aquarius, I think it's time to think about what the situation or, who this person is that's keeping you small. There is something in your reality that is really not for you. It's not a fit anymore, but I feel like you have been dancing to the beat of this drum anyway. You've been playing along, you've been allowing yourself to be chained to this situation. It's devil energy. Devil energy, so this is recent past. Some of you may still be in it now. Some of you might be transitioning out of it. Timing's a little fluid here. Excuse me. Now, devil energy are those situations that come with an amount of toxicity, right? Can be that toxic friendship. It can be literally, codependency in relationships, friendships. Can be someone stealing your thunder, undermining you. I do sense that we have that sort of trickster energy here because we've got that with the Seven of Swords. Devil and Seven of Swords is definitely could be somebody stealing from you, lying, cheating, undermining you. It's a very sly energy. So, some of you may have already identified that around you, or some of you, this might be coming out this week. You might actually be, learning of this. With that devil energy, I feel like some of you might have had an inkling that this kind of energy is happening in a situation, but you've stayed in it, or you've really, stayed in the ignorant bliss state. And no, that person wouldn't do that for me. I'll keep my head in the sand, that kind of thing. Well, it's time to not dim to fit in. It's time to step up. It's time to speak up. It's, because it is really stopping you from shining brightly. Devil energy, it's about staying chained or bound to a situation, even when the chains are loose enough to free yourself. Because there's a sense of, being under the hypnotic gaze of the devil, which is that, there is some kind of payoff for you by staying in the situation. So if you're staying in a relationship but you suspect there is, an affair happening, well, the payoff for staying in that relationship can be not going through the upheaval of a separation, not going through, the financial issues that might pursue, or the breaking up of a home, that kind of thing. Same can be said about, if somebody's undermining you in the workplace, obviously going through the process of finding a new job and settling in, maybe a different commute, and all of that. That's scary, and change is, it can be unsettling. So, this is the kind of situation that we're dealing with. But the thing is, by staying in that situation, even though you're getting a payoff, Aquarius, is that this situation over time is wearing you down. We can see that here. And that can lead to other problems, sickness, fatigue, the dimming of our light, so that we don't, achieve the goals, we don't get on our life path and do what we're supposed to do. Here's the bat wings here. So it really shows that he has the ability to basically to take life force So it's not sustainable at all, Aquarius. You really need to release yourself from this burden. And that is what the energies are providing energetically for you this week, is the opportunity for you to let that go and release yourself. So we have Death and the Ten of Wands. So Aquarius, this is an ending. There's no doubt about that. But what it's asking you to do is to release the weight of that situation. You know, the Ten of Wands is about somebody who's been carrying a burden, carrying a weight, carrying a heavy load, carrying extra responsibility. And through carrying this weight, it's actually blocked your vision. It's blocked you from being able to see your way out of the situation. It's blocked you from being able to see, you know, new opportunities for your life, to be able to see, you know, a new reality on your horizon. That's the Ten of Wands energy. And the Ten of Wands also talks about, you know, being very heavily burdened. So, you know, some of you could have been, you know, suffering from depression through this, being overworked, that kind of thing. But this person, you know, even though they are a bit blinded by the situation and carrying this heavy load with a bent back, they are still moving forward. So I feel like you are committed to getting out of this, but, you know, you really need a bit of a helping hand. And that's what that death energy this week is setting up energetically for you. So it's saying that the timing is right to bring this to a completion now and free yourself. So death comes in when, you know, a cycle needs to be cleared. It needs to be brought to an ending so we can carry on with a clean slate. You know, there's nothing more certain in life than the cycle of birth and death, you know, or death and rebirth. In order for us to rebirth and to allow light into our lives, you know, we need to clear away what no longer serves us. The situation does not serve you, Aquarius. It's time to let it go. You know, so death comes in. It comes as an energy to help us actually bring an ending. And we really need to embrace it and surrender to that energy, because it's saying that, you know, it's not sustainable anyway. It's got to come to an end. So why drag it out? Yes, it can be painful. There can be hurts, but, you know, you're going to have to go through it at some point, Aquarius. So do it now. We need to be like the child who just looks death in the eye as a natural part of life. This adult here is kind of feigning away from death because she knows that change, you know, it brings pain, it can bring hurt, it's fear of the unknown, all that kind of thing. But here we have your light, or the promise of a better day on the horizon, ready to burst through. This is your light, you know, after you've released this darkness, you won't need to dim it anymore. It is ready to rise and expand, Aquarius. It's a beautiful energy. But yes, strong ending there. That situation is ripe and ready to end. So, you know, please move with the universal energies this week. Okay, near future position. Interesting combo here, Aquarius. So we have the Nine of Swords, we have the Five of Cups in reverse, and we have the Nine of Cups. Feeling quite out of breath here. This Nine of Cups is what wants to come in for you after clearing the slate, Aquarius. This is your light coming back. This is your wish fulfillment. This is you getting back into a place of being content with your life, about being happy, about being emotionally fulfilled, about, you know, experiencing love again. But we need to make sure that we don't block it. And what can block it is, you know, staying in the pain and the anxiety of the aftermath of the situation. So the Nine of Swords can be, you know, anxiety or depression. It can be overthinking, being up in the head, analysing, oh, if only I just hadn't got myself in that situation in the first place. I was so stupid. I was blindsided. It's okay, Aquarius, you know, we all make mistakes. But don't sit around, you know, don't sit around worrying about what can't be changed. That's what I'm sensing. And that's completely backed up with the Five of Cups. I'm just going to turn it into upright for ease of reading it. Because the Five of Cups is all about somebody who is reflecting on the past, is reflecting on their losses, wanting to change what can't be changed. You know, this liquid's gone out of the cups into the earth. There's no way to bring it back. But this person's stuck, you know, they're stuck on the past. They're, you know, stuck in the depression and negativity of it. But by doing that, Aquarius, We miss the opportunities that are there for us should we just turn around and decide that it's all about forward movement now and not looking back. So that is your reminder, near future. Do not dwell on this situation. What is done is done. You can't take it back. You can't change it. You know, you were a willing party for a period of time to go along with it, but be kind to yourself. It was probably a karmic contract or a life lesson. You've learnt that lesson now. Vow to yourself not to repeat it, but please turn around and start moving towards the light. You know, this is you getting back into that position of power. And this is the real promise of emotional fulfillment and even your wishes and dreams coming true in the future once you've cleared the space for Aquarius. Whew, it's a biggie. So don't forget the promise of the Nine of Cups. This is the light at the end of the tunnel, Aquarius. There's just something really big to clear here, some big completion to, you know, come to a head first. Aquarius, I wish you all the best with what could be a very big week for some of you. Keeping in mind it is a general reading, so it won't be for every one of you. Leave me a comment if you'd like to share. I'd really like to know how it's playing out in your daily life. And I'll see you back here next week for another reading.